Hi there, my name is Moiwa Samfan, and I'm going to be walking you through my academic and professional skills presentation. Moving on to the next slide, I'll be showing you my personal introduction about me. My name is Moiwa, also known as Miles, which is my English translation to my Nigerian name. This is my first year at Coventry University. I'm studying sports marketing, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. This is my first time being away from home, all the way in London, situated in Camden. So moving to Coventry was a big step for me, and as I've never lived away from home. However, I am quite enjoying my own space and being independent. One reason why I chose this course was due to the fact that I love sports, especially football, especially the time when I played for Watford Academy in 2015, which was a great experience before I was unfortunately released in 2016. However, I was always intrigued and interested with the marketing aspects and the promotion aspects of the sporting industry, especially for Watford, playing there when, as a player, we received free merchandise from Puma, which was at that time Watford's sponsors, and all our equipment would be for them. So I was very intrigued how they use this method to promote themselves. Some interesting facts about me would be the idea that I played in front of Kobe Bryant in a basketball competition in Camden, which was a great experience. Although I'm not a supporter of the LA Lakers, I'm a Chicago Bulls fan. I did quite enjoy my time playing in front of him. Furthermore, I'm also a trustee member for an organization called Voyage, which teaches young Black people about African history and also how to deal with situations such as stop and search by using terms like go wisely in that situation. Moreover, I've set up my own Christian clothing line called CYA Christian Youth Academy, which main aim is to spread the gospel through the messages on our attire. Moving on to the next slide, I'll be showing you my VART questionnaire results, which evidently shows that my oral results were my best results, which didn't really surprise me, as I really did enjoy seminar lectures where I would get involved with my peers and discuss what we had to do for coursework, for example, and just get involved with the group and understand their points of view and just find a way of interpreting each other's ideas. So I felt that when I received these oral results, that it wasn't a big shock for me. However, with regards to my visual results, which was evidently my lowest, I do feel that this might be because I've come from a BTEC background where most of my units were taught in a practical way rather than in a visual way. However, ways in which I can develop my skills as a visual learner maybe by checking out up and coming work with regards to the digital marketing unit that's going to be happening in the second semester, where there might be particular diagrams or graphs that could be beneficial for my coursework to do, where I can visually teach myself. I think this could be a better way of me learning and developing my skills as a visual learner. Moving on to the next slide, these are some of the advantages and disadvantages of each key point that came up in the VART questionnaire. Some advantages, as you can see, for visual learners. Being a good visual learner allows you to incorporate visual images to help understand information, such as diagrams and graphs, which suggests you can make your own interpretation from information better. Some disadvantages of that would be the lack of physical activity a visual learner can have, which is dangerous for their health. And health is a major factor, arguably, for learning. Moving on to the next slide, these are my Imagine RIT results, which shows that I scored quite an average results in this particular results, showing that I use both my left and my right side brain when it comes to learning. In this score, it shows that I am a both logical and analytical learner, which basically means I can also use my creative and intuitive side of my sides of learning. I do believe, however, that I do match more of a left-sided brain thinker and learner by some of the characteristics that comes up under these, such as being able to recall names, being punctual, and preferring bright lights when studying like I was today. Moving on to the next slide, these are some of the characteristics of a left and right brain learner. As you can see, most left brain learners use verbal learning styles, whereas right brain learners use visual learning styles, and so on with regards to the rest of the characteristics you can see. I believe one characteristic that stands out the most would be from the left brain learners, which is to plan ahead. I see myself always planning ahead with regards to coursework and business plans in the future and other things related to future plans, whereas a right brain learner would plan by impulse. So I believe that that's a characteristic that really stood out for me. Moving on to the next slide, this is my human metric strong typology test, where you can see that I scored quite high for judging people and quite low for using my intuition. I believe when taking this initial test, I was a bit skeptical about my results because I didn't want to be perceived as somebody that judged others. However, looking back now at the results, it looks like that was the major factor, a major preference that stood out the most. I believe ways that I can develop and better myself with regards to this particular preference would be by giving people a chance and also sticking to that staying by not judging a book by their cover. I think by doing this, it will give me a better chance of perceiving others rather than judging others. With regards to the other factor of feeling over thinking, I believe sometimes I can act upon my feelings rather than using logical ideas and thinking to sort out whatever that situation might be. Looking at my intuition and sensing, I believe I do use my intuition a lot. I believe sometimes I can also work on using my sense on particular factors to help. I did enjoy doing this test. Moving on to the next slide, I found online an Entrepreneurial Potential self-assessment survey, which was quite interesting for me because as an entrepreneur as myself, I thought this would be quite useful for finding points where I'm good at and also finding points where I'm not so good at. As you can see from the results, my main strength would probably be motivation, which is great. I think to be motivated as an entrepreneur is a great way to go about things and a great way to keep yourself active and keep yourself motivated in a sense. However, as you can see from the other results, where I need to develop myself would probably be through my aptitude of doing things rather than saying them. I believe that I should be more of someone that takes actions to things I've put in place rather than just saying them, which basically means I need to act upon most things I've planned on. Moving on to my action plan, these are some of the factors I believe that I can take in consideration to better myself. One being punctual to lectures. I believe when I looked at my attendance this semester, it's quite low in comparison to what I'm used to in college, where it would always be 95% and above. I think ways I can better this, as you can see, is to go to bed earlier, before 11 preferably. And by me doing this, I would be more punctual to lessons. Also, other methods by waking up early in the morning and having breakfast, being healthy, which is key because I'm not one to take breakfast all the time. So I think this is a great way of being healthy and setting your day for the rest of the morning, especially if I have a 9 a.m. start. I think by arriving 30 minutes before a lesson, this could help me be successful in being punctual to lectures and also setting my mind to be focused and concentrated before the lecture begins. Moving on to the next slide. This is my skills audit results. As you can see, I've scored myself quite high for my oral presentations, and as I feel that's something I feel very confident in doing. Moreover, reflecting on my own experiences, I feel like this is something I do all the time just to have self-evaluation and self-reflection to see ways I can better myself. And lastly, looking at my SWOT analysis, these are my strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats. I think one of my main strength would probably be that I'm motivated consistently. One of my weaknesses will probably be that I have low attendance in lectures. However, there are opportunities to better that by waking up early in the morning. However, threats could be the idea that if I do not work on my attendance and fix it quickly, that I could be terminated from university. However, if I use one of my strengths to be motivated, I can easily wake up early in the morning and be motivated to be on time for lectures. This is my bibliography page. Thank you for listening.